Okay, so I posted up 3 different views of the Boulder police assault against me. After like 5 days of the Boulder Police Department harassing me everywhere I went, treating me like trash, preventing me from getting anything done, preventing me from defending myself, preventing me from making a statement to the police, they outright refused. Just kept on refusing. And there was a lot of officers in that period of time that were involved in that. All of them Boulder officers, because I was in Boulder. I was being assaulted on a daily basis, and the cops didn't care. Um, Danica, one of Natalie's stepmothers, was in contact with me at the time. Now, I was told that I was free to go by the officers in Natalie's case. I'd go wherever I wanted. Well, I wanted to go see Jamie and the boy in South Dakota. But with all the threats that were going on, all the people threatening everybody that I cared about, threatening to kill my family, to kill my friends, and no officer would take a look. They all got to see the news, all got to talk about it. This would be pretty obvious here. What happened before that video was Lana Engeline and Amanda Engeline and Jeri Sparks. These are all people who left my life in October of 2016. Unlike Miss Natalie and Miss Alicia, when they left, they didn't send people after me. Nobody assaulted me over Miss Jeri or Miss Lana. Nobody assaulted me over Jenny or Tyler. But despite that, them and Candace, Dale, and all them came back into my life to try to help. But none of them, not one of them, wanted to listen to what was going on. They all wanted to tell me what to do. And all of them had different ideas on what I should be doing. And I struck up agreements with them. None of them kept their end of the bargain. I kept mine, as always. These people are not held responsible for not telling the truth, for not following through, for not actually caring. I needed a friend. I needed someone to help me in the state of Colorado. I needed someone to take me in long enough for me to get those detectives in Broomfield what it is that they'd asked for. Now, by this time, Sarah Rubiolo, she was one of the first people that I ever helped find. I've been involved in finding missing people for a while now. I don't get to anymore. The way that I was painted, I get harassed and assaulted all the time. So I just try to avoid places where I'm harassed and assaulted, and that sucks because that's where all of my safety is. That's where all of my friends and family are. That's where the people that I care about are. It's Boulder. The Boulder Police Department on the 6th of January, they'd already harassed me for like 5 days straight. Prevented me from sitting down somewhere with internet and actually getting the information that the Boulder Police wanted, or that the Adams County detectives wanted. The Boulder Police refused to take a report on any of the assaults that were happening against me, or any of the ones that had happened the year before, or any of the internet harassment that just continued. They weren't willing to do anything about it. A few of them even laughed, thought it was funny. So on the 6th of January, I was trying to coordinate with Karamia and Evan Daka and Jeri Sparks and Amanda Engeline and Lana Engeline to get me somewhere safe, to get me up to South Dakota. Well, that didn't end up happening. Instead, I've got at least 6 people texting me at one time. And then I've got hundreds of people on the internet who are trying to text me, who are trying to get a hold of me, who are trying to reach me, trying to harass me, and they're sending me threats, threatening to kill my friends and family. And I've got these people that aren't understanding this is going on, and they're treating me like shit for it. We're just trying to help, Shawn. I'm overwhelmed. Stop. I don't need 10 of you texting me at once. I need one of you to text me. And it needs to be a phone call. I mean, if you can't talk to me on the phone, you're taking stuff wrong in texting. I'm not able to type fast enough to defend myself or to explain what's going on before you're making more assumptions and typing more stuff at me. So I'm spending all my time trying to fight your bad assumptions. And I let them know that I wasn't able to get on a bus until I got my flip phone. At that point in time, they hadn't found Joseph Lopez. I had people assuming that I killed her. I didn't kill Natalie. It's obvious now. I can't go back and change the way that people treated me when they assume that I did, and they're not going to admit that they did wrong. Now, during this period of time, Danica got a hold of Miss Shelley. Miss Shelley got a hold of me. I knew that it was somebody that Alicia knew because I had the number saved from the 29th of December as Alicia Bollinger. But it ended up being one of her stepmothers, Miss Shelley, whose number it was. Well, Miss Shelley and Miss Danica, that whole day, I was in contact with Miss Danica. People were threatening my life. They were threatening my friends' lives. She was aware of this. She was also letting me know what kind of a person Ted Bollinger is. That man is a candidate for, if you guys want to make a point about child molesters, he's the guy you should make a point with. Here's a man who actually did it. But it doesn't matter who actually did those things. It matters who you can get away with blaming, who you can get away with punishing. I wasn't allowed to show any evidence at any point in time. Not then and not now. Now, the Boulder Police Department hadn't been involved yet. I was letting the people in that group know that I need to go get that flip phone before I can go anywhere. That flip phone is at Ken and Leah's. It's not now. Now I have it with me. It's right here. And I wasn't going to be able to get it until Monday. The soonest that I could leave is Monday. Jamie and the boy weren't in South Dakota. There's no reason for me to go to South Dakota. However, with the whole phones, me not being familiar with them and them auto-correcting to stuff, and me, of course, having a panic attack, so I'm not proofreading it like I should. And I sent back that I didn't mind spending a couple of days in the weather in South Dakota. Well, I did mind spending time in the weather in South Dakota. I still needed to get my flip phone. There's no reason for me to go to South Dakota if Jamie's not going to be there. And then from there, I was going to travel to Montana. Now, this was all something that could have been done without the media destroying my name, without the police assaulting me, without the Bollingers doing the things that they had already been doing for a whole year. Pretending like I would hurt them is an excuse to actually hurt me. But they're absolved of their sins. So they tried to. I'm at Safeway in Boulder, Colorado, just off of um, Arapahoe and Diagonal Highway there. And they're sending me money so that I can get on a bus. By this point, I'm down to, I don't know, I think I had 15 or 20 bucks left. Oh my God, the things that I went through. So they sent me some money. So I went in and I was waiting on the money when they sent me an Uber and told me that they've already got a bus for me. I'm having a severe panic attack. I'm trying to do what it is that all these people want me to do. They're all pushing me in different directions. Shawn, you need to do this. Shawn, you need to do that. Caramia wants me to do one thing. Evan Docker wants me to do one thing. Lana wants me to do something. Amanda wants me to do something. But none of them are listening to me. None of them actually heard what it is I was trying to say. Not one. It's do what they want or I'm a bad person. And none of them can agree on the color of shite. So I had a meltdown and I went for a walk. I mean, they were pressuring me hardcore. They already sent me the Uber. The money's not coming fast enough. I'm waiting on the money to come through Western Union while Uber is outside waiting on me to take me to a bus, and I don't even have that flip phone yet. I need to get that flip phone. Ken and Leah, from the time that Natalie disappeared until today, they've gone out of their way to suppress evidence, to prevent me from getting a hold of my own personal things, to mislead the situation. A lot of people did this. As soon as they realized they did wrong, they started lying. They started trying to pretend like they did no wrong. All of these people, all along the way, with the exception of me, want to hide what they did wrong. I was forced to do the things that I did that are wrong. What I did wasn't wrong. It isn't wrong. To tell the truth, I should admit the truth and take the punishment. Is that what you want? Obviously. So I decided that enough was enough. I was tired of my friends getting threatened and harassed as well. They didn't do anything wrong. Alicia, Shelly, Danica. These people didn't do anything wrong, just like I didn't do anything wrong in Virginia. But you want to pretend like I did. You want to pretend like I'm some monster because it absolves you of your sins. It absolves you of the terrible things that you've done. And I was letting Miss Shelly know to try to let a little bird know that I'm going to be at St. John's. Hopefully that person with the gun is going to come and shoot me. Now, why did I decide to do this in specific? That's because of a Tim Beeson post in one of those Natalie Bollinger sites saying he was going to put me and Joey Moreno in the ground. So I made a post, come put me in the ground. Well, the word please, the police wanted to pretend I said police. I never got to defend myself in court about that. And officers ever since have treated me like trash. Here's why. When all of that happened, Tim Beeson was doing all that threatening. The border police had already been in contact with Broomfield police. They'd already been in contact with the Adams County police, and they were coordinating to threaten, harass, and intimidate me and separate me from anyone who could help me. They intentionally put me into an autistic meltdown. And they kept on doing it. They didn't do anything about the internet people harassing me. They didn't do anything about the Bollingers and their harassment. They didn't do anything about these people threatening my life and my friend's life. They didn't care. The police showed that they did not care about doing their jobs. And so I made a post. And I was in contact with Danica. I let her know what I was planning. I was live or die, this stuff needs to stop. It needs to stop happening to innocent people. And it continued to happen to innocent people. To this day, innocent people who are not me are punished for standing up for me. None of them have done so in a court of law, not one. Not one person has showed up in court with me to defend me, to tell the truth. The people that went to court with me didn't know what the hell was going on. They didn't care. They were too busy with their own family lives, and then they want to tell me I'm family. Well, that's the thing. If I was family, you'd have tried to find out what was going on instead of talking over me. And that's the problem with telling people that you're autistic. Is all of a sudden you're a retard who doesn't know what's going on in their minds. So I was trying to get the person who shot Natalie to bring their gun out of hiding and come shoot me with it. Or at least show up with it so the police could do something. so the police would actually do their jobs. Well, I got some pomegranate juice and I went down to um, into the wind and I got 3 wolf pictures. Um, and I went and I put them down at St. John's Church in Boulder, Colorado. And an officer identifying himself as Officer Ryan called me from Broomfield. And it turned out later that he was BSing me. He told me that either he or his partner were going to come see me. I let him know that I was sick and tired of Boulder police and what they were doing to me, and he assured me that the Boulder police were not going to be sent. He said he would meet me at St. John's. So he didn't. It was some officers from Boulder, like he said wouldn't. The officers who had been harassing me for 5 days straight, preventing me from getting the information to the Adams County detectives that they had asked for. Not that it mattered, the Adams County detectives already had that information. Obviously, what these officers were doing, they were doing wrong intentionally. They told me that they were going to take me somewhere that I could make a report and show them all the stuff that was happening. They outright lied. I told them that I needed a keyboard so I could type down my codes to get onto the internet, and they told me that they would. Well, then they didn't. Part of the way to the hospital, they told me that they were supposed to be taking me to a safe house. Instead, they took me to the hospital. Part of the way there, they said that a different room opened up, so they took me to the hospital. I already knew what was going on. They were going to separate me from the evidence, refuse to take a look at it. They were going to assault me. I was in contact with Miss Jeri at the time. When we got to the hospital, I didn't want them to have my phone. I was trying to make a police report, and they were telling me that I was on a 72-hour hold because I was suicidal. Who the fuck wouldn't be? You guys have been harassing me for a week straight. My best friend is dead. I've been blamed for everything from stalking to rape to child molestation to murder over this. And nobody's willing to pay any attention to it. Now, since then, not just the Boulder Police Department, but also the Bollinger family and the media have been heavily invested in preventing me from showing any evidence. When Natalie died, because she was pretty, it didn't matter that she was on heroin. People wanted to judge me, call me a drug dealer, call me a druggie, say that I was the one who gave her this stuff. Did they judge her for using it? Because I'm not the one who gave her those drugs. Her dad did. So, Boulder Police Department, they pretended that I was suicidal. They pretended that I was trying to kill myself. I wasn't. They tried to pretend that I was trying to suicide by cop. Now, this is something I didn't get a court date in. They dropped the charges because they did wrong, but I didn't get a court date. And at other court dates that I've had since, because of this situation, they used that against me. And I'm not allowed to defend myself, and my public pretenders aren't going to defend me either. So I'm at the Boulder Public Hospital, and I'm talking to Miss Jeri, and I'm telling her I need a lawyer. I've been trying to get a lawyer for a year almost at this point. I mean, I really need help. People are actually doing these things. There's actual proof, and nobody will look. So, the Boulder police had to paint me as a violent person. So they assaulted me. Now, I got Tiffany Wild. This is some web sleuth crazy lady. And Mike Boudet, who's some internet crazy dude, going out of their way to misread as much as possible. And both of them use that to try to paint me as a shitty excuse for a human being. These officers lied to me outright repeatedly that whole night. I just needed this stuff to stop. I needed them to go after the person who actually did it, to actually take a look at what was going on and why it is that I reacted the way that I did. How the fuck would you react? Nobody in your corner. So the Boulder police, they feigned an assault, pretended like I assaulted them. How did they do this? Well, they threatened to put needles in me, threatened to fill me up with drugs. There's a nurse in that video, those videos. She's got a package of needles. They're going out of their way to try to send me into a panic attack. The number of people who are in that doorway, the number of people who are in that room, and there's mirrors around the room, so obviously it's making it seem like there's more people. I just need them to stop. Take my fucking report, you stupid pigs. Officer Ryan didn't show up. Turns out that Officer Ryan isn't a real officer. They have two officers in Broomfield with the first name of Ryan. I don't know which one called. But I can't post that evidence up here on YouTube. All that paper evidence. I don't know how to do that. I'm really pissed off about this. The police, they picked me up off the floor by bending my wrist like this, putting extreme pressure on it while I was already in cuffs. I'm already in cuffs at this point. And they bend my wrist and lift me up off the floor by it. And then they twist my wrist sideways as they're pushing me through the door. Pushing me through the door by my wrist bent sideways. It's called pain compliance. When they do it at Guantanamo Bay, it's called torture. It is acceptable for police in America to torture American citizens, to try to gain a false confession, to try to get them to defend themselves so that they can be charged with assault. And that's what they did. They put me into excruciating quantities of pain. And I just had to take it. As they got me through the door, one of them officers slammed me to the floor, got my leg in a leg lock. This was unnecessary. I wasn't defending myself at this point. I'm in cuffs. I can't defend myself. So they took me to the Boulder County Jail. Put a bag over my head, claimed that I tried to bite them. Refused to take pictures of the bruises or injuries that I sustained at the hands of the Boulder Police Department. Outright refused. When they took me to the jail, they drove in with the ambulance. They took me out of the ambulance. The ambulance lady was involved in this, trying to claim that I was moving. Oh no, I'm moving. I'm in excruciating pain. She was saying something about my shoes. Fine, I'll kick my shoes off. No biggie. We're in a bay in the Boulder Police Department, or in the Boulder County Jail. And there's probably at least 15 officers in there, possibly 30. One of them had a body cam, and that is guaranteed. All they had to do was look at that video, see who is in there, get that body cam, and show the truth. They're not going to, though. The police have evidence of their own wrongdoing. You really think they're going to release that? Of course they're not. So they claimed they would let me make a report when I got to my cell. When I got to my cell, they had to wedge the cuffs off of my wrist. And they still refused to take any pictures of the evidence. Outright refused. The whole time I was there, they kept me until the bruising was gone, until all I had was two little scabs right here. They thought for sure that I'd killed Natalie, and they wanted to be the ones to catch the big bad wolf. No, you should have gone after Ted Bollinger, you pieces of shit. So when I got out of Boulder County Jail, they had painted me as some sort of violent animal on the goddamn news. Nothing has happened to these officers for what they did, and they destroyed any chance at all, of me being able to defend myself, me being allowed to defend myself. The public opinion that was created like that had thousands of people destroying evidence on my Facebook. I should never have had to use my Facebook that way. The police should have done their goddamn jobs. But I'm not a pretty girl on heroin.